Alright, well, I'd like to further here on the way that Enoch describes those of the 144,000. As you can see right here, this is once again, this is how I had done what was stated. And you can see the charges down here. Okay, I'll leave it so you can put it on pause and read if you want those things right there. And that's on the first page. Okay, here's the second page. I'll do this so that hopefully you can like put it on pause and read exactly what I've done here. And it wasn't really me. This was our king leading me over many, 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 many years of this very same man that corrupts his office, and he's put many people in jail. There's a lot of people in jail right now in Taylor County and Callahan County, Coleman County, all these, Shackleford County. Okay, there's all these different places that they've got people that don't even know why they're in jail, but they got them in jail. They don't even know why they're there. There's no charges against them or anything. You know, they're basically like I was here. Okay, there's the third page. Now I'm going to read a little bit of this just so that my voice is on with this so you can hear it. But you should see in here if you read this contract, okay? And this is a contract. Now, the 144,000, no contract law probably better than any other on the face of the earth. In fact, all those that are under the contract here, you know, as if they're under contract at all. They break law. Don't man against people.
Say that you're entitled this, why don't you make the other side do that? If they bring a claim against you, according to man's law even, they're supposed to prove their claim. We've got motions for them to prove their claim that the courts have never upheld. They never bothered to have the show cause come in. You know, but I own quite a few attorneys in Abilene. And these courts, as you can see here, where the judge has been protecting them and doing all kinds of wicked stuff. I charged him. The authorities, okay? So anyway, now is negotiable contract, okay? You can't just take that to court. Before you can actually take a case to court, you're supposed to try to settle it outside. So I sent this off to the judge, the man who acts as a corrupt judge. It's July 18th, 2016. Now on August 25th, 2016. That was 2016. I hope it didn't say 2018. It was 2016. But anyway, what they did, and this was to Senator Cruz that I sent this information packet to, and it will tell you in here what the complaint was. The complaint for arrest, and of course you could stop this and take a look at it. Okay, if I can get it on there. But this is what was sent. Now, the people that did this are those that work in the court system. They're the ones that got this affidavit for They conspired. Okay, what they did was they conspired. After I had billed this judge, and what it was for, it says right from the start, the subject says negotiable, but it's a private contract. This wasn't for courts to listen to or anything else. This was between him and I told him right straight out that in the end, for varieties and or degrees of forgiveness, let it be known that I would rather not been contacted or tracted with this matter. I would have much more preferred to have been treated fairly instead of what took place, but it was always your choice, John, and not mine. Therefore, too, my first choice of forgiveness, of course, is to forgive and have someone that can verify and see just how forgiving I am. Man, that I too may be forgiven from above, the IRS, which is part of the legalese society, which I should be emancipated from. And see, that's what this was over, was I filed emancipation papers from this world. Okay, Satan put out my tooth, so I was claiming my right to be under the lost and found by our king, who was to collect me within 30 days if nobody else claimed me. Nobody did, and the judge wouldn't sign my emancipation papers for this lost and found property be returned back to our king. I'm now an ambassador, of course, but he wouldn't do this, and that's why I had to file this for him, was to charge him for not doing his job. I mean, anybody that's in a lost and found, if somebody comes to collect, you're supposed to turn it back over to them within 30 days. Okay, now after 30 days, it returns to the one that found him. Well, the judge wouldn't acknowledge the one that was looking for me. Okay, so it's all in court records here, and I charged him for it, see? And it says, which I should be emancipated from by what was required from you, and is not any unlawful act for you to have addressed as giving signature of you, acting as a referee, that they may give receipt that you were forgiven by me, and their receipt to you should be considered as true forgiveness from and me and or etc. My second choice of forgiveness is full forgiveness, that is acknowledged by you, John, as being forgiveness indeed. IRS does not have to be informed of your private business, and I do not look forward to the expenses of registered mailings as this has come to you by. But full forgiveness can only come if all lawful requirements I placed upon you as a public servant and not a man is fulfilled. Even this debt can simply go away as easily or even easier than the steps that it took for you to bind yourself by this contract 000001 if you were to fulfill your elected duty and protect man and property. I am man. So as you see, I told him that this bill wouldn't even be here if he would only do his stinking job that he was elected to do. So what did he do? Instead, and of course the subject on here states, negotiable but private contract 00001 for harms, damages, and injuries to man by and through abuse of official office and or etc., ratifying and enacting this contract and itemized billing. Okay, and some of the things that I had billed him for, okay, was like here under E. It says, you denied me the right to a common law hearing, and whatever took place was not a hearing unless one considered, shut up! 32 times! And 32 times he yelled at me, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I mean, he had so many demons jumping out of his butt, man. It was, oh man, it was cold in there that day. But as soon as they left, it got pretty warm. But anyway, you denied me the right to a common law hearing, and whatever took place was not a hearing unless one considered shut up 32 times as some form of hearing. And for dishonoring my requirement to be heard under common law and for trespassing upon my rights is valued at $15,000, which is quite a discount, as I normally would charge much more. But I'm a forgiving man.
One should never impede on another man's rights or cause any man intentional damages, harms, or injuries, regardless of one's alleged status that comes from man. So I charged him the $15,000 and so, and I charged him for barratry of his bench and all kinds of stuff, and I guess he didn't like it, so he went to T. Barton and he went to Shane Deal, and they had a justice of the peace who only had authority up to a Class C misdemeanor, which was under a traffic offense. This judge had no authority to put anybody in jail. This here justice of the peace in the county that he's in, he had no authority to put anyone into jail. He could only hear up to a Class C misdemeanor. Okay, but if you notice what T. Barton here and Shane Deal, they signed this. Okay, they signed this. They recommended a bond of $30,000 to this judge, who only has authority up to $10,000. And they put a bond on me for $30,000 because I did, by man's law, and to keep the courtrooms clear, I filed a negotiable instrument. And, when you get an electric bill in the mail, that's a negotiable instrument. If you don't think you owe it, you can go ahead and call them and say, hey, look, I don't think I owe you that much, And they have to look into it. You can't just take them to court. But these guys did. I sent them a bill, okay? I charged him for his criminal offenses against men that go into his court, and I was a man. And he's done it to me, and he's done it to others as well. But you've seen what that says. I put it up there so you could cut it off and watch it. The same way as this, but I got to read it to you. I mean, it's hilarious. This is what they arrested me and almost murdered me because of what Shane Deal and T. Barton did with Steve Odom. This public, what do you call him, justice of the peace. Okay, and I mean no disrespect to the man's office. It's just disrespect to the man. Okay, because he's a turd. But it says here, in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas. So the state of Texas did this to me too because the state of Texas allowed it. And I even sued. I didn't sue, I billed. Okay, Greg Abbott and all these guys are billed. They're charged. Okay, all the way up the chain, all the way up from the jailers, all the way up to the governor. Everybody's charged, and they're still being billed. It's thousands of dollars a second between them all that they owe. But it says, in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, T. Barton. Okay, T. Barton, he read this thing. Okay, and he saw where, I said, all you got to do, Judge Weeks, is do your damn job, buddy boy, and I won't even bill you. This whole thing will go away. You just do the job you was elected to do, you bastard, and I'll let this go away. Okay? I, T. Barton, do solemnly swear that I have good reason to believe and do believe that one Al-Yahnai Hawkins on or about the 18th day of July 2016, once again, there's a stamp, okay, in the county of Callahan and state of Texas did then and there intentionally and knowingly threaten to harm John Weeks by an unlawful act on account of his service as a public servant by threatening to file fraudulent documents with the IRS in an effort to financially harm the said John Weeks. See, now, what they just said in legalese terms is John Weeks was wanting to evade taxes. He wanted to evade taxes because if I forgave him of this, which I couldn't do anyway, Yahshua, let me see this. I wrote it anyway in here saying that I could go ahead and forgive him, for $1 million. And according, now if I was a financial institute, I could do that. But he didn't know. He don't know the law. So I figured I'd use the law for him. and Yahshua set the trap, and all this came about because of it. Okay, so anyway, in the second part, it says, my belief in the aforesaid is based on the following. Now, anyone that's got an ear, and they know the Constitution, or anything about the laws of man, or contract law, okay, he's going to tell you in here, contract law is nonsense, okay? This is why I was arrested for a third-degree felony, and they did murder me. It was in their heart. They murdered me, just like Enoch said they would do, because of me filing this. Okay? He says, on or about July 18th, 2016, Al-Yahnai Hawkins, Reverend of the Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing, sent 42nd District Judge John Weeks a letter in which Hawkins complains about not being fully heard in court on July 14, 2016. I didn't complain. I billed his ass. I charged him for what he did that was unlawful. He ain't got no right to do things other than what he was elected to do, and he don't own that courtroom, and he don't own the counties like he thinks he does, and that's why Yahweh's going to have this investigation come on him, and he's going to lose, and he's going to be humiliated. And most of the people, it talks about how the prisons are going to be opened. Well, guess what? These people that he put in there unlawfully are going to be released. Yeah. Talks about opening the doors in these last days. I'm telling you, it's no honor to be one of the 144,000. It's no honor. It's a pain in the neck. It's a burden that nobody wants to go through. I mean, the people that had to deal with the stuff I did are rich, and they got yachts, and they're called lawyers and attorneys, and they robbed the people, and me, I just tried to, help people and myself, and all I got was robbed and pillaged by these people because it's their racket. This is what the RICO Act was put in effect against, was these kind of individuals. They're using the justice system today as their own private racketeer to make their own livings and everything else, these crack dealers. Hawkins was, and that's in my own opinion, of course, they're crack dealers, okay? I've only heard a couple reports about certain labs going on, owned and operated by people in high powers there. I mean, they're bombing them over there anyway, that Obama had, so why shouldn't it be done down in these lower court areas too? Hawkins was in court to complain. No, I was there not. I don't complain. I have a claim, I tell you about it, okay? That's how it is. Cow chews a cut. I'm not going to complain. You're complaining when you take me in there. You ain't got nothing to charge me with. You're making complaints and painting things on me and hoping that you put me in prison. I'm telling you, chop off my damn head. Quit kicking me in the nuts. Hawkins was in court to complain about custody matters involving his ex-wife. However, Hawkins had not properly filed any motions or petitions that would have given the court anything to hear or rule upon. Hawkins insisted on being heard. These courts are there for you. They ain't their courts, If you got a problem, you go to them courts and you tell them, okay? And they already had a case there, and they was putting it off, and it's like, hey, you have time to hear me? I'm standing right here. I waited. You ain't got to go to lunch at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm here now. You're supposed to be here till 5 anyway. What are you going to do? Just close up shop, take off? What's wrong with you? Full of demons from Baphomet? I don't care for Baphomet. Anyway, it says, Hawkins insisted on being heard, and after Judge Weeks gave him some time to explain what Hawkins wanted, like 32 times, shut up! Shut up! I mean, there wasn't much explaining of anything going on there. Weeks gave him some time to explain what Hawkins wanted. It was explained to Hawkins that he had not filed anything which hadn't action could be taken. Hawkins had to be ushered from the courtroom by the bailiff and a deputy. Well, they were trying to usher me out of there ever since I walked in, and I stayed till the entire court sessions were over, till they ran all these people through the grinder, and got their blood on the gears to lubricate those suckers, Anyway, he says, the letter dated July 18, 2016. Now get this, okay? Anyone in their own... I mean, if you're half insane to begin with, you should be able to still see and understand that this is horseshit. All right? Listen to what these guys say. This is This is not only a county attorney, he was acting in a county attorney's status here, but he's a district attorney as well. And this T. Barton, some kind of investigator, and they both signed this. And listen to what they say. These are your leaders. When you cried out to Samuel to have a king put over you, well, the king is still over you. It's right here. Watch how this king rules. The United States of America and Texas. This is how they rule. The letter dated July 18, 2016 contained a large amount of nonsense regarding contracts. So contracts is nonsense. Common law is nonsense. And Hawkins's declaration that I am man. I mean, they're carrying this gender issue just a little bit too damn far here. I do say I'm a man, and I can show it. You know, any man or woman or child, for the most part, unless you're a hermaphrodite, can show that they are a male or a female, and I'm a man. I can prove it. But they say this is nonsense. Contracts are nonsense. Common law is nonsense. And I was put in jail and murdered for a felony because contracts in America. So the next time you get an electric bill, you send it back and say, hey, you know, Shane Deal and T. Barton from Texas say the contracts are nonsense. And they ain't got to be paid. No, you don't got to pay. In fact, you send me a contract again, you go to prison or to jail, and they'll starve you to death. Well, only 44 days. If you survive, you did, and if you don't, you don't. But, you know, if you send these contracts that are nonsense to people, think about it. I'm going to read that again for you, just so you can understand the kind of crap the 144,000 got to go through. You don't. If you're not at the 144,000, you're only hearing and you're alive. You didn't have to go through this. Well, you got no concept on what it was and why I am a reward for you. Okay? The letter dated July 18, 2016 contained a large amount of nonsense regarding contracts, common law, and Hawkins's declaration that I'm a man. The letter also contains numerous statements about Hawkins' perceived mistreatment in court on July 14, 2016, and claims that Judge Weeks owes Hawkins $1,138,348, which was untrue because the time was still clicking at the time he got it until he decided to do his duties that he was supposed to do. Then the bill would have gone away, but he didn't. He breached that even further by conspiracying murder using his office. They obstructed justice and everything to do this. And you people let him do it. And he's using your tax dollars, so you're just as goddamn guilty. You think about it. So the way I want you to pay your debt in this is you cry out and you pray to Yahweh that justice come. Okay? Justice come to those that have been deprived in these last days. We need to take this kingdom when it's coming to us by the front door. And the only way we're going to do it is by walking uprightly. Okay? We can't get in the window or the sides like these folk think they're doing. And they know who I am. That's why they do it, see? And the last sentences here says, Hawkins threatens. Is it a threat to say, oh, I'll let it all go away if you just do your damn job? Is that a threat? A felony. It's a felony here in America. Hawkins threatens in his letter to send the IRS a declaration that Hawkins has forgiven Judge Weeks of that debt. Said debt forgiveness would result in substantial tax consequences for Judge Weeks and substantial financial harm. The same crap they did here and tried to kill me, Al Capone did, but he got caught. Tax evasion. This judge practices it in this courtroom, sends papers and shit saying he's doing it. And as you see, that's why I'm freaking crazy, okay? Because man's law don't apply. And Yahweh's law don't apply, it seems, but I'm keeping it just the same because it's the only thing makes sense. Man's law certainly don't make sense. Wait till the next video when I read this here, okay, this arrest warrant, and show you how man follows up with their own orders. Now remember, this is going to be investigated. You seen it here first. These are qualifications of the 144,000. Anyone saying they are one needs to be able to show you they got the documentation. Because Enoch, I've only showed you a little bit there in 103 yet. But it's going to show you another qualification is there's going to be an investigation. So you just pray for this, and you'll see the power of our Father through our King take place. And then you'll know that the 144,000 are here. These are the last days, and you better start straightening up. Remember what I told you about salvation? 10 commandments, 613 laws, and trust in our King only. That's it. All right? I got my ass kicked for you. So you can understand these things. So open your ears and your eyes and your hearts and repent. And I love you. Now, we'll be back on for the third part, I think, is coming up next year. So, till then, I hope you digest this well. I'm showing you I qualify, definitely. And I know you think I got to be nuts because what I'm showing you just ain't no way goes on in these courts. But I've got several court cases just full of this kind of crap. That's why they tried to kill me. So, the evidence is there. Like I say, like it or I didn't choose the king. He chose me. And he's kicked my ass all the way until now I say, okay, well, I got my trust in you, you know. I'm not going to ask man to help me in this anymore, other than their prayers. But all the help's going to come from above. You watch. And they're going to move these men, these kings on this earth, and all their politicians. They're going to be moved, and they're going to investigate this. And you'll hear, I'll be raised up. Not that I want this thing. Only so that the voice of our king can be heard, you know. But there's nothing you got for me. You know, I'm satisfied with, heat in the winter and a little bit of coolness in the summer, something in my belly. I'm satisfied, You can't get better than that. Now, I need fancy houses and cars, but I do need your prayers, okay? I'm crying out here. And if you see that what I say is true, because Enoch's saying it too, all right? And we'll get back with that this next time. Till then, shalom.